Hello, everybody. My name is AB, and this is my Dirty Laundry Diary. Thank you for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. I am trying to get this episode out, before the storm takes out my internet slash power. When I woke up this morning at 9, it was already snowing pretty heavily, and the storm was not supposed to start until 1. So we're off to a great start. This morning, I made an oatmeal. I eat oatmeal every day for breakfast. And this is my oatmeal recipe in case anyone's curious. I take equal parts vegan butter, because I cannot have dairy, and honey or brown sugar in a saucepan, heat it up, get it melty. Then do a bit of cinnamon and your salt that you're supposed to have in oatmeal, because you're supposed to do a pinch of salt. Let that sort of saute, toast the cinnamon. And then, if you choose to do a fruit, I prefer apples. I will do banana, but banana is my least favorite fruit. And there are fruits I'm allergic to. Banana is not one of them. But bananas are readily available and fairly cheap. So I appreciate them for that, and I will consume them because of that. I do live in an area where fruit isn't always accessible, good quality fruit. So worst comes to worst, I just buy a bunch of bananas and I make do. I only ever eat them in oatmeal. I do not consume them in any other form, because in oatmeal I can mask the banana. But they're a good source of fiber and vitamin K, potassium. Is it potassium? Yeah. Probably other things they do good for you too. I don't know. I don't care. Anyways, sorry about that tangent. You put whatever fruit you would like. I've even done it with blueberries, and it was delightful. I don't like blueberries either, but they were the cheapest one. So, make do. Then you put your oats in, and you toast the oats a little bit in that, beautiful cinnamon, honey, brown sugar, butter, syrupy mixture you did. And you toast them in that, and then you do your liquid, which usually for me is just water. If I am feeling fancy, I will do half water, half oat milk. Oat milk is my preferred non-cow milk alternative. And then you let that bubble. I use Quick Oats. Steel Cut is my favorite, but I don't wake up early enough before work to indulge in Steel Cut. So this is a Quick Oats household. And it's scrumptious. It usually hits every time. But today I made it, and I'm blaming it on the banana, because the banana I did was the most ripe of the bunch I bought. But it wasn't ripe enough, and so it's just mid. It was mid because the texture of the banana did not break down in the way I wanted. And I'm going to think about it for the rest of the day. I'm the type of person where I plan on reading today and watching DVDs. I will be watching the movie, and I'm like, my stupid oatmeal. I just needed to rant about that. That's all. But I was eating my oatmeal this morning, and my mid oatmeal, and I was like, no, this needs to get taken care of, because I don't think that I will have internet or power for the whole day. And I'm prepared. I grew up here, so I'm used to power going out and things during the winter. But I wanted to make sure that I took care of this, and I got this episode out. So, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope your past week was okay, or good, or great, fantastic. If not, I'm proud of you for getting through it. This last week for me was mid. Did not do anything extraordinary. And I went to work, and work was meh. I think a lot about There are certain things that happen at work that remind me that this is not what I'm meant to be doing. And an example of that was this week. There was a very big, important, like, executors are going to be in the building, dress super nice. Because usually we just roll up in jeans. And they did a breakfast for the executive board. And there was a bunch of leftovers. And they put them in the break room and anyone could have them. And there were trays of fruit. Like, good looking fruit. And as I stated, like, fruit is not always easily available. So they went to, like, you look at, oh, you went somewhere and you paid for this fruit. And one of the executives, like, just came over, unprompted, dumped it all, just threw it all away like it was nothing. Witnessing that on my lunch break was very much a, yeah, I'm not meant for this life. I'm not meant to be working here. Nope. Which is crazy to think that small thing is another sign for me, but it is. And I've been thinking about that actually a lot this weekend. I don't know why. Maybe because I grew up like poor and we didn't always have access to food all the time. But I think like about it too when you see videos of like restaurants or fast food chains dumping lots of food at the end of the night. And I worked fast food, multiple different fast food places, and dumping the food at the end of the night and being like, hate that. It's very weird to be living life in a world that feels so heavy all the time. I think that's really what I felt this week. Especially towards the end of this weekend. Anyways, this episode is about keeping a soft heart, even though the world is really, really cruel. Why am I thinking about this? Well, thank you for asking, listener. I appreciate your commentary. I see a lot of the quotes and things on my Instagram. My Instagram For You page is very much heated rivalry, beautiful men, beautiful women, beautiful they, thems, and all those in between. And drag queens, lots of drag queens. And cats too, of course. Some vegan cooking videos. I'm not a vegan, but I'm dairy free. So I do use a lot of plant-based recipes. But one of the quotes that popped up on my For You page is, it's from a page by someone named Maria Popova. I don't know if this quote is hers or if theirs, or if they just like took and made art with it. I'm not entirely sure, but that's the Instagram page that I saw this on. It was a beautiful photo too with a swan. It was just beautiful. And I was actually on my lunch break and I was just kind of sitting there and I just kept looking at it. And I was very drawn to it. So I wrote it down. And that's what inspired this week's episode. And it follows. The most immense danger is to live with a leaden heart, always on guard against being wounded, to make of the world an anxious projection, to remain asleep through the daybreak of possibility, never touching the great body of the unknown, sleeping alongside, never willing to take a chance on change, for the only heart that can be broken is the heart too ossified to open to the full range of feeling. I just think that's beautiful, but I also relate to it quite a bit. Why? Well, I struggle with opening up and letting people in, which I think is fairly normal from the upbringing I've had. And I think I built so many walls up, like a maze nobody can get through, that I oftentimes feel stuck behind those walls and I don't know how to get out. And I think that I shut my heart off for most, if not all of my early years. Middle, high, school, college. And then my first time opening up my heart, let's say, it ended in a dumpster fire. I think I've mentioned this human beast on here before, but I was seeing an individual who just absolutely destroyed me. And that happens to a lot of people. And thankfully we weren't like married or had children or anything. We were just, sorry, I just had a flashback. And I learned a lot from that time, specifically how little self-respect or love I had for myself, because I accepted the bull from that human being. And afterwards, I wanted to shut everything off, everything out. And I was like, well, maybe love isn't meant for me because I've never had it before. And I thought that was love, but it very clearly wasn't. And now that it's been a couple of years, I can very clearly state that I have never been in love, nor have ever received romantic love. I have lots of love in my life from friends and family members, but I kind of convinced myself that it wasn't going to happen, and also that I'm just someone that it's not meant to happen to, that I was made more to love people than to be loved. Again, probably to do with my upbringing. And again, I don't really like to let people in. I'm very selective about what I let people know about me. And maybe it's because I like to have control of everything all the time. And I can control what people see. Like when I'm doing really bad mentally. For a long time, I never told anyone. I wouldn't even mention it, and I would just let it pass. But a couple weeks ago, I was not feeling great, and I was like, I need to tell someone about this. I can't keep doing this. I can't. I'm gonna. It's a slippery slope, and I'm gonna fall again if I don't let people know that I'm struggling. And there are people that very clearly care and love me. So I need to let them know. So I reached out to a couple of friends of mine and I let them know, hey, I'm not doing great. I'm not bad down in the trenches, but I'm not doing great. And how can I help? What can I do? What would you like to talk about? One friend, just always cheers me up whenever I feel bad, even if they don't know I feel bad. So that was just talking to them about day-to-day things just makes me feel better. And then my other friend was like, let's talk about it. Why? What's going on? And that friend has a traumatic childhood as well, and similar to me, pretty complicated mommy issues. And so we just talked about the things that were on my mind, which did pertain to my mother, and talked about how I was a kid and I didn't deserve that. And I'm good. I'm a good person and I'm kind. And hearing someone else say that is just always very nice. But especially someone that you trust enough to reach out to when you're struggling. And afterwards, I felt like I could finally breathe. I was like, you know what? The world is a little less heavy today. It's a little less scary. And my brain is a little less dark. And then to see that come up about making sure you have an open heart. I think when I have all my walls up and I don't let people in, I am the most like my parents, and I never want to be like them. The world is very scary. It can be a very dark place. And sometimes it's the people that are supposed to love you the most that make it that way. You cannot control what people do. And one of my favorite things about human beings is that, for me specifically, I always was like, I'm not deserving of a love. I don't deserve good things. Why not? It's not my choice. These people that are in my life choose to be my friend, choose to be my family, choose to be here. My duty is just to let them love me. Let them be here. Let them be a part of my life. And let them know that I'm struggling. Or that I'm happy. Or that I had a good day. Or I can't get out of bed and I need someone to come help me. Or I have my one friend come every now and again, and she will sit while I clean, or she'll help me depending on the thing that I want to get done. That's my job. To live with an open heart. To not let everything that harmed me growing up in my early 20s make me so cold that I really do create a world where I have no love. Because if I don't open my heart, if I keep it shut off and don't let anyone in, then yeah, I'm gonna be lonely. I'm gonna be sad. I'm not gonna know love. Whether that's romantic, friend, familial. And it was like, it just kind of clicked. I remember when I was younger, I'll say like late teens, seeing, I don't even remember what it was, but it was something on the internet where someone was talking about how it takes like a certain sort of trauma to be so kind. And I remember that really hitting with me, really resonating. And I remember sitting there with it, being like, wow. So I don't have to become like the angry, vengeful person in the movies who becomes a villain because life sucked. And I never was. I think the worst thing I ever was angry. I was angry a lot of the time at my parents and at the world and at the universe and God and all those things. But I don't have to be angry. I can just love, be kind, gentle, enjoy. And there are days where I get sad because my childhood sucked. Sometimes I get sad because I've never had a romantic love. And that's fine. That is okay. But I'm not going to let that stop me from being kind, or stop me from doing things that make me feel happy, or stop me from having an open heart and taking chances and doing things that might terrify me or that raise all the alarms. I think life is just too beautiful to not approach it that way. There are so many miracles all around us, all the time. Not even including just the one of being alive right now. Or really being alive as a whole. So yeah. I'm going to work through what I got to work through. And I'm going to love. I'm going to be gentle. When my friend reaches out asking if they can talk to me about something, I'm going to let them, because whether that friend knows it or not, I would take the long way home just to spend time with them. I will absolutely have warmth. I think that's the point. I didn't have control over the world around me when I was a kid, and that left me very hollow. But I have control now. And if all I am is angry and resentful and mad and spiteful and mean, then I'm gonna be in a world that feels like that all the time. And I'm gonna be really lonely. And I don't want that. So I have to make the conscious effort to be kind and gentle and come what may, and be loving and be open and let people reach out to me and be there for them. I love being there for people. I have lots of people that reach out to me when they're not doing great, and I love it. Ooh, does it make me feel great when people reach out to me. So why wouldn't it make my friends feel great when I reach out to them? It might even make them feel really good, because I usually keep things inside, but I don't know for certain. It's exhausting. Sometimes it's really easy to just be mad or sad. But then the world just isn't meant to be that way. My world isn't. Your world isn't. You are meant to have love and joy and fun and happiness and daisies and flowers and fairies. That's what life's meant to be like. But you have to make it that way. You're the only one that's going to live life through your eyes, with your bones, carrying the weight that you carry. So unfortunately, you gotta make the conscious effort to make it better. For yourself, for others. I read a book recently. It was a collection of letters from Native writers, activists, artists. And in one of the letters, that particular writer wrote about how they are just trying to leave the world better than when they came into it. And this was more to do with the rights for Native and Indigenous people, and not exactly this. But sometimes you come into the world and it's really bad, whether that's politically, the location you live in, your home life, and it's your job to make it better. Again, whether that's politically, where you live, by moving your home life, by never going back home. So keep an open heart. It's terrifying. It is awful. It is scary. But it is necessary. And you will be okay. Thank you very much for tuning into this episode. I hope that if you are in a location that is supposed to be getting hit with some sort of storm, that you are warm and safe. And may this next week be wonderful. And if not, you can get through it. I assure you. Remember to breathe, and that it's okay to be terrified while doing things. But you are incredible, and you will be okay. We've got this. If you liked this episode, please let me know. If you don't, please let me know gently. And make sure you follow or subscribe if you would like to. I really appreciate your time. And, ooh, actually, I'm going to probably watch The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which is one of my favorite movies. I used to, in high school, take photography. I took it 4 times. And we watch this every year. So I love to watch this movie. It's very special to me. So watch The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, or a movie that makes you feel great. I also just watched a movie called Lake Mungo, which was recommended to me by a coworker, and that one's like a mockumentary spooky one. So if you don't like spooky, don't watch that one. But it was genuinely very good. So watch a movie for yourself, or a TV show. I'm more of a movie person, but thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you next week. Bye bye.